the power of the people is greater than the people in power. And we knew that the people united could never be defeated. You see, we have a powerful man in office right now, and I'm going to tell you this. He cannot be the main character of the American story. But I'm proud to be called here to speak today to a lot of unstoppable forces of nature. But before I do, I just want to give honor to the great mayor of Detroit. She is a phenomenal woman. I want to give honor to my colleague, my big sister, Debbie Stabenow, because she is a phenomenal woman. I want to thank you for sending Alyssa Stotkin to Washington, D.C., because she is a phenomenal woman. And, of course, your great state is run with a governor who is also a phenomenal woman. And I don't want to leave out a pretty good dude named Gary Peters as well. My brother from another mother. So you all have to bear with me because my mom has this saying. She says, behind every successful child is an astonished parent. My mother would take a lot of pride in me standing here today. In fact, as I was flying here, I couldn't reach her. I called my aunt, and I'll tell you why. She was so excited, but what I thought I would do is really affirm the fact that we all are sitting here as our ancestors' wildest dreams. We all would be astonishing those who came before us, who fought for us, who bled for us, who cried many a night for us, who struggled for us and worked for us. So today I really just want to do three things. Not astonish my ancestors by honoring them, but honoring them by making 3 points from 3 of my elders. And I know these are points that don't have to be made because you all are living it already, but I think what I want to do is really focus in on 3 themes from elders who have influenced me. The first theme is about hope, the second theme is about power, and the third theme is about leadership. Let me start with hope and explain to you with some embarrassment how I started my career. I was a Yale law student, and when I graduated from Yale, my father looked at me and said, boy, you got more degrees in the month of July, but you ain't hot. Life ain't about the degrees you get, it's about the service you give. So I moved into one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in the city I love, Newark, New Jersey. And I moved there, thank you, some Brick City love in the house. I appreciate the smattering of applause right here. And I get to Newark, New Jersey, and I'm overwhelmed. The neighborhood I chose to move in was violent. I heard gunshots at night, and in the daytime there was a whole bunch of dense public housing, abandoned buildings, and I show up to knock on the door of the tenant president, and she opens the door and she says, who are you? And I go, ma'am, I'm Cory Booker. I'm from Yale Law School. I'm here to help you. And this woman looks at me like I need help. She takes me to Martin Luther King Boulevard and says to me, boy, if you want to help me, tell me what you see in my neighborhood. And I'm like, what do you mean? She goes, describe my neighborhood. And I described it to her, the projects, the abandoned buildings, and the more I talked, the more angry she looked. And finally she said to me, you can't help me. And she starts walking away from me. I'm confused. I run after her, stop her from behind very respectfully. And I say, ma'am, what are you talking about? And she looks at me and she goes, boy, you need to understand something. The world you see outside of you is a reflection of what you have inside of you. And if you look at my neighborhood and all you see is problems and darkness and despair, that's all there's ever going to be. But if you're one of those people who every time you open your eyes, you see hope, you see opportunity, you see love, you see the face of God, then you can be one of those people that helps me. She left me scratching my head thinking to myself, okay, grasshopper, thus ended the lesson. You see, Miss Jones was the kind of person that many of us know because we got Miss Joneses on our blocks and in our neighborhoods all over America. They're the kind of people that don't wait for change, they make the change happen. They're the kind of people that make a way out of no way. They're the kind of people that despite the trauma in the community, they heal every single day, holding people together, holding our children, elevating our elders. But I would move into the high-rise projects where Miss Jones lived, and I would find out in the building that I lived that her son was murdered in the lobby years earlier. And I was shaken by that. How could this woman who had her son murdered in the lobby of this building still be here after all those years, still be in her leadership position? So I went to her and asked her, why do you still live here after something horrific like that happened? And she looked at me almost amused by the question. She goes, why do I still live here? And I go, yes, Miss Jones, why? She goes, why am I still in apartment 6A? And I go, yes, Miss Jones. I said, why? She goes, why am I still the tenant president since the day these buildings were built in 1969? And I go, yes, Miss Jones, that's electoral longevity, I understand, but why? And then she looked at me with a smile and she said, because I am in charge of Homeland Security. Let me tell you something Miss Jones taught me about hope. Hope isn't a feeling you get. It's not something that happens when the wind blows the right way and suddenly you have hope. No, she taught me that hope is the active conviction that despair will never have the last word. We are living in a time where there is despair and fear and hurt. Those are understandable emotions. But now more than ever, like Miss Jones, she understood we can't wait for other people to bring us hope. I'm not going to wait for a presidential appointment or cabinet secretary position. Hell, she may have the title, Kristi Noem of Homeland Security Director, but I am taking the responsibility. We are each other's hope. We are the heroes that we are looking for. We are the leaders that we need. That is what real hope is. It is in the valley of despair. Yea, though I walk through that valley, that you keep on walking. It is knowing that weeping may endure through the night, but I will bring the joy in the morning. That I may have reason for despair, but I still have the power to help somebody up, the power to heal somebody, that I can be the hope in somebody else's life. That's how we got here today. That's how our ancestors brought us along the way. But that is not enough. Ms. Jones showed me hope is a choice. Hope is action. But power, I got from another elder, and I want to switch to my second elder here. And these are a dynamic duo. This is a couple. This is a couple that moved from the South to this great city called Detroit. This couple, I knew when I was a child, they were my grandparents. If you know where Wayne State is, you know where my family lived. It's now a parking lot. My mom was born in Harper Hospital. My family, I know there's a lot of Cass fans out here, but they went to, hold on, but my family went to Northern High School, I'm sorry. My mama grew up in these cities, and they told me stories of what power is. You see, this is a community that took my family from poverty and the Depression to middle class. This is the city in which my parents and grandparents, my grandmama, opened up businesses, a laundromat, a pool hall, a gas station. In fact, the statute of limitations are over, I hope, but I can tell you all this now. I hope I can tell you all this, not get in trouble. But my grandparents ran numbers too. Hey, before the lottery was legit, we had it in our own communities. And that money stayed in our community. Now, I want to tell you about power because my grandparents taught me that power. You see, the Depression was a rough time. It reminds me a lot of what we're experiencing now. We had big stratifications of wealth. We had so many Americans that were giving up on the American dream. Many people were working hard, but they were finding themselves with more month at the end of their money than money at the end of the month. In those hard times, my grandparents found what real power is. And real power is what we need right now. Real power is what this luncheon is about. Real power is what this convention is about. Real power is what I believe will be rising in Michigan in the coming months. You see, in the depths of the Depression, when you had a president, Herbert Hoover, that was hurting communities, dividing people, believing in the laissez-faire economics, that somehow prosperity would trickle down if you just kept helping the wealthy. In the time of Herbert Hoover, this community in Detroit did not wait for other people to deliver them. It was a community in Detroit that my grandparents found that they could turn their pain into purpose. They could go from agonized to mobilized and to organized. They can let their outrage get them out working to bring people together. You see, my grandparents made a decision that they would join a union and get with the UAW, and that they weren't going to wait for somebody else to deliver them economic justice. But my grandfather helped to organize in the UAW for higher wages, for worker protections, for rules that elevated the working man and the working woman. But they didn't stop there. You see, some of you might not remember this, but back in the 30s, most of black folks in Detroit were Republicans. It's the truth. And so my grandparents, like many black Americans did in Detroit, said, you know what? We're done with the Republican Party and their failed policies and their outright lies. We are going to organize our community. We're going to tell people to turn Lincoln's picture to the wall. Because that may have been the party of Lincoln, but we now need to redeem the dream of America. It is time for a new deal for Americans. And my grandparents went out and they bragged to the days they died. They helped to organize 14 districts from Republican voters to Democratic voters. And they said this party was the party not of me, but the party of we. It was a party of not exclusion, but of inclusion. It was a party of civil rights and workers' rights and women's rights. It was a party of labor. It was the party that believed in Social Security and Medicare. It was a party that knew all men and women are created equal and deserve great public schools to develop their mind. They knew what real power was. Real power was we, the people. Don't think that FDR, my grandfather used to say, FDR didn't elect himself. We, the people, elected him. We didn't get suffrage because a bunch of guys in the United States Senate came together and said, hey, fellas, put your hands in. Let's take suffrage on 3. We didn't get civil rights or voting rights because one day Strom Thurmond came to the Senate floor and said, I've seen the light. We got those things because we were organized. We were mobilized. We knew that the power was with the people, that in the United States of America, the power of the people is greater than the people in power. And we knew that the people united could never be defeated. You see, we have a powerful man in office right now, and I'm going to tell you this. He cannot be the main character of the American story. We are the main character of our story. And it is time for a new deal again, because the current deal is not working when Americans can't afford their health insurance. The current deal is not working when people can't afford to buy a home. The current deal is not working when you can't afford child care and to pay your rent. The current deal is not working when masked men are coming into our neighborhoods and dragging our neighbors out. The current deal is not working when we're bombing other countries and have money for war, but don't have money to feed the poor. The current deal is not working when hate is preached by the White House, but only love will see the day. We need a new deal again. And we ain't gonna wait for somebody else to bring it to us. We the people. We did it in Selma. We did it in Seneca Falls. We did it at Stonewall. We the people have made this a more perfect union. And when the union is divided, we the people have to bring it back together. But Michigan, I don't want y'all to feel too comfortable. I got something to say that y'all might not like, but I'm going to say it. I'm going to say y'all might not like it. If you know that when we're together, that the people united can never be defeated, then you know that our kryptonite is division. I'm going to say it one more time. I was told this in my church. We got some squabbles. We had a little church in Newark, in close to New Jersey. Got some squabbles in the church. My pastor knew it. Whenever 2 or 3 are gathered together in his name, there's some divinity in strength and unity. I knew it when I played football. The older I get, the better I was. But I knew when we would score a touchdown. I knew it. I knew when we would score a touchdown. We were driving down the field, and I heard the defensive huddle starting to argue amongst themselves. Get on somebody for what they did. They missed a tackle, and I would turn to my huddle and say, we're going to score because they're divided. I'm going to tell you right now, I think it's important to have primaries. Democratic Party needs to have a conversation because we've come up short too many times. I'm one of these people that believes we need to have a robust dialogue, and sometimes there's worthy issues to fight for. But like when I played football, when you come out of that locker room and you've decided who's your starting team, everybody needs to get around that team. Because what I was taught when I was coming up is that if there's no enemy within, the enemy without can do you no harm. And I've seen it too much in our party. I'm calling it like it is. After our primaries and Hillary Clinton was our nominee, there was some people, not all people, not even most people, some people said, well, I don't like her. I don't agree with everything she says. I saw it with Kamala Harris. There were too many people that say, I don't agree with her on everything. I mean, 90 out of 100, I agree with her, but those 10, I can't do it. Well, you may disagree with her on 10% of her views, but you let someone get in office who you disagree with on everything. You let somebody get in office who is locking up our children. You let somebody in office who's taking away our health care. You let somebody in office who's taking away workers' rights. You let somebody in office who got rid of the Department of Education. So I'm going to say this like the son of a Michigander. Michigan, we're the hand, right? It's nice to have fingers. They all got jobs. They all got perspectives. But I don't want the Michigan hand after your convention. I don't want the Michigan hand after your August primary. I want the Michigan fist. I want you all to unite. I want you to punch a hole in the wall of resistance. I want you to grab a sledgehammer and knock some stuff down. I want you to reach up and grab